Muhammad. Welcome to the Real Z Talks. So happy to have you with us here today. Opening the first season, episode 1 of The Art of Self-Awareness.
I'm honored that you thought of me for your first. I'm honored that we're getting more voices out from the region and the country in English. And I really hope we can have, as we always do, a heart-to-heart whenever we talk. Only this time we have 3 cameras and 2 mics pointed at us.
Of course, but it's a bilingual conversation. So
Great.
if you feel okay to talk in Arabic, go ahead.
Yep.
We're just 2 people being ourselves. So what energy are you walking in with today?
Positivity, تفاؤل, yeah, for sure. You ask me why. If you were to ask me why, I don't know. I don't think good comes from being negative or being not negative or positive, mediocre about anything. I don't think anything good happens from that kind of mindset. I think one of the reasons why the Americans have excelled in anything they put their mind to, it's because of the irrational positivity that they approach anything with. It's inspiring. Some people laugh at it. The Brits would laugh at it because the Brits don't have that kind of positivity. But the Americans, they didn't even have a decent football league 30, 40 years ago. And now their games are very interesting. In the Olympics, any event they take part in, you'll probably see an American on podium. They approach things with irrational positivity. Something I'm trying to do, because if we don't, then what are we doing here, right? We have less time than we think.
So ندخل شوية قبل before time, قبل الكاميرات وقبل البلاتفورم حقك. What defined Mo back then? What season were you in your life back then?
Very interesting question. I was actually defined by what I wasn't.
Which was
Failure, which was doesn't finish anything he starts, which was not serious about life. Those are the things that defined me, for better or worse. Mo is whatever it was finish the sentences, but it was a negative connotation.
Did you believe that about yourself?
I was led, I eventually bought into the narrative. You know, the more people that said it to me, elder statesmen in my family, bosses, thinking that I'm less than for whatever reason, made me اتحطمت. You know, I was condescended. I was made to feel that I was X minus. I think it just got to a point at the age of 37, 38, when COVID hit, where I managed to like have an outer body experience. I was looking at my life from the top, and I asked myself, having jumped off the hamster wheel, being the corporate life, how much longer do I want to do this for? How much longer do I want to build someone else's dream and do something that is not my strength or forte or what I was put on this planet to do? How much longer? It's been 13 years in corporate.
وبعدين
إيش؟ يعني كمان 13 سنة كده حدق ال50. Yeah, I was 37 when we hit COVID. Wallah, just randomly, my older brother sent me a link of something called the Joe Rogan Experience. And he had the great Naval Ravikant on. And it was a 2-hour episode. لما بدأتها, I couldn't stop watching. And it was that episode that told me, this is it for you. In the seat of the interviewer, the Rogan interview, this is it for you. That seat is vacant in the region. And Naval on the other side was saying humans aren't meant to work 9 to 5. He was saying end of the industrial revolution is the beginning of the information revolution. He was saying own a piece of a business.
So he was talking to you.
He was talking to me on this function, on this format. So you can't imagine the aha moment I had. I messaged my brother. I'm like, thank you so much for the link. He's like, enjoyed the episode. I was like, it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening, not the content, just that. But for me, it gave me an idea. And then 3 years from that day, I left my corporate job to do the podcast full time.
So it took you 3 years and then you left? You didn't leave right away?
3 years. I started it September 9th, 2020. I left August 31st, 2023. It took me just shy of 3 years, 1 week shy of 3 years. Why? As we were speaking before we started rolling, consistency. Consistency, in my eyes, Albert Einstein might disagree, although compound interest isn't too far away from consistency. Albert Einstein said compound interest is the seventh wonder of the world. Yeah, consistency as well. You know,
Yeah.
if you continuously invest in a fund over time, it grows. That's the seventh wonder of the world, as Albert Einstein said. And I would say that consistency, not that I have any business being in a sentence with Albert Einstein, but consistency was the only reason that allowed me to do it full time, to have my own studio that I pay rent for, to have guests by names that I would have never been able to attain or have a conversation with. Not because I was a good speaker, a good podcaster. I managed to get a little bit better with every episode, chipped away.
Were you ever a good listener, or this happened to be, it took time for you?
I was just a talker all my life.
Was it before the podcast that you became a good listener, or it took you a while?
The podcast allowed me to shut up and listen, because if I don't let my guests speak, then it cannot be. Although it says the Mo Show, it's not about me, it's about the guest. My favorite episodes is where I interject as little as possible. If it was up to me, I'd speak less than 1% per episode. I love those episodes. Just I let the guest audio book it. So it did allow me to be quiet and listen and carry that into my real life, where I think, and I'm hoping my wife would agree with me, that he has become a better listener before and after. And if that's the only good thing that I got from creating from the podcast, in all its glory, if the only good thing about it is that I became a little better listener, I'll take that.
I remember watching your first episode, and you were maybe, let's say, worried or conscious about airing the episode. Maybe what people are going to say, how are you going to be perceived?
That was actually our
Tell
second.
me about this.
It was our second episode.
Yeah.
With the same person. We shot the first episode the day before with Mo. But at the end of the episode, when we came to hear the audio and the video, we were very excited. It turned out that my microphone was off. Something I hope this isn't right now. So that was actually a moment for me to realize, do I want to do this? Is this really for me? Or do I, pick myself up and let's give this another crack? And I said, you know what? I can't trip at the first hurdle. No, I enjoyed that conversation so much, even though my microphone was off. I'm going to ask Mohammed to come back tomorrow. Let's shoot it again. My fault. We shot it again, and episode 1 was actually episode 2.
So when you shot it again, you said the same things over again?
I had to have a goldfish memory and ignore everything that happened the day before and treat it like 001. Let's go.
طب thinking of other people and what they have to say about you, هذا شيء مربوط فيك أنت كيف تشوف نفسك أو كيف الناس يشوفوك أنت كمحمد?
I don't think I had much confidence in myself. كنت دائما أشيل هم هذا كيف يشوفني ولا هذه كيف تشوفني. Did they judge me or did they not? What did they think of me? Acceptance. Friends group, no problem. But in real life, business world, I think I was a little bit more in my head with regards to acceptance. Sensitive. I was very sensitive. People pleaser for the longest time. Maybe I still am on some level. But the confidence wasn't where it is today with regards to my value. But sometimes, we need a win. عشان نقول لنفسنا إنه, you know what? No, you're more worthy than what you might give yourself credit for.
What was the turning point where you felt, okay, I'm feeling this in my body right now that I'm more worthy and I'm believing it more and I'm not a people pleaser. I'm done with that. How did you overcome that point? Because that's a lot of work.
I don't think there was an exact moment in time where I felt that I'm no longer a people pleaser. But with a few wins along the way, Prince Abdulaziz's team reaching out and saying, we'd like to have him on the show, and getting that was a huge, on the map moment for me. Princess Rima, just took it home for us, really put us on the map. And then a few phone calls that came my way, government-related trips, 2 of them, brands that said, we want to put our name on your show. Big names. Being recognized in public by those who I don't know, non-famous people, as well as very well-known people. Being invited to the royal court, 2 occasions. All those small wins had extinguished my lack of confidence. Am I worthy? All the days of feeling less than, X minus, failures. In school, I was a failure. In the corporate world, I was like, I got through it, but I wasn't working in an area of passion, and thus I couldn't give it my 100% to really feel that, I was made for this. So seeing the success in the podcast really just was able to make me forget about the 37 years of being made to feel less than. I always knew that I wanted to create something amazing and good. I remember in my mid-30s, I'd say, oh my God, that person became a minister. He's my age. Or at the age of 25, this guy became a professional sports player. He made something of himself. And the age 36, 37, I'm like, what have I done? Nothing. And then I think when I hit 40, 41, I stopped being too concerned about my age because I actually felt that, okay, I did something that I can be proud of, that I'm passionate about. That's my work, my name on the door, that I'm making my country, doing something for my country, and something that, that people can be proud of.
So that fades the noise anyway.
Yeah.
It just starts fading. And
I don't need any more validation.
yeah.
And it's something that I needed from a lot of people, even in my family, validation. And I never got it. I always got, yeah, but you're not serious about life.
Yeah.
And today the same people who used to say that I wasn't serious about life are asking me what the trip to Washington, D.C. was like with MBS. So it's a full circle moment, alhamdulillah. I didn't ask for this life. It came to me.
But you deserve it. Maybe you believe that you deserve it. That's why you...
I did believe that I deserved it, but never in a million years that I think, shooting episode 1 or episode 10 or episode 20 will eventually allow me to, be in these rooms with people that I never imagined being in. And then I just remember إنه ربنا يرزق من يشاء.
طب بعد البداية إيش كانت اللحظة اللي حسيت إنه لا الموضوع بدأ من جد فعلا يكبر؟
First week of August 2023, I was in Marbella and I got a call from the Ministry of Media saying, we'd like you to join the Crown Prince on a media delegation to Delhi for the G20. After I confirmed that it wasn't a prank, then I was like, I might have done something really special in the last 3 years of the podcast. 80 episodes, 90 episodes, 3 years. And now the government, the country is seeing the value. I called up my uncle and I told him, remember when I told you if the podcast ever gets in the way of my work, you'll be the first to know? Because the first 7 episodes, I shot it in my office cubicle.
So you were working while you're shooting?
On the weekends.
Oh, wow.
So I told him, listen, I want to start this podcast. It's basically like a radio for the internet. So I'm going to put a few mics in my office that I will shoot on the weekends only. طبعا my boss at the time, حاول يحفر لي. Called my uncle. He's like, هذا بدأ راديو. I told you ما ينفع. If it wasn't for that boss, I wouldn't have started the podcast. لو شفت اليوم أبوس راسه. But I would shoot the first 7-8 episodes in my office cubicle, and I told my uncle that if it ever gets, from the early days, من حلقة محرق, if it ever gets in the way of شغل, and the first person I'll speak to is you. And I'll tell you that I can do both. After that call, I soaked it in. A week later, I called him and I said, further to what I said, I think it's time I do the podcast full time. He's like, great. What's prompting this? I got a call from the Ministry of Media and they want me to be part of the media delegation to Delhi for the G20. He's like, I'm so proud of you. Go out there and make us all proud the way you are, and you'll always have a place in the company if you want to come back.
It's a beautiful story.
I mean, when my dad passed away 21 years ago, this uncle of mine, Muhammad Ali, filled in the gap of my dad. So I'm forever indebted to this human being.
Take me back to that big moment where you were at the royal court when you met President of the United States, Donald Trump. When you look back at that moment, were you the person you are today? يعني أنت تخيلت نفسك already هناك ولا شيء تغير بعد that moment?
It's a very good question. I felt that I belonged برغم إني أول مرة أخش الديوان الصالة that you see in news channels.
Did you feel small or big?
I felt bigger than I thought I would. Yeah, definitely bigger than I thought I would. Striking up conversations. Because هناك it's like ولا حد عنده الانتراج ولا حد عنده الحرس. كل أحد بيمثل نفسه. Businessmen, وزراء, كل أحد لحاله. So it was an amazing opportunity to be included in this room with, some very important people that حتى when I'm looking around and I'm like, I have no business being in here, but you know what, دعوات الوالدة, the country sees that I bring something valuable. So whether I belong here or not, allow me to soak in every second of this moment. Because it's not guaranteed that I'll ever be back. It's not guaranteed. So I am going to soak in this moment that just feels right. على يميني Becky Anderson, وعلى يساري John Pagano, and we're just back in. John knows me, and Becky's like, you've had Princess Rima on. So she was like, my God, she knows my work, the CNN anchor. It just felt right. And as I was approaching Trump, I was like, I don't want to just say my name and just go off. I kind of want to make an impression. So I conjured up something in my mind, and as I was getting close to him, I said, Mr. President, I'm Muhammad Islam. He's like, hello, Muhammad. And I said, and still,
wait a minute.
It was a bit mundane for him because he said hello to 200 people before me.
Yeah.
And, you can imagine, hello, Ahmed, hello, Abdullah, hello. And I'm like, hello. So for him, it's just another face. I said, the Joe Rogan of Saudi Arabia, so I'm told. So waqta he pulls me in. He's like, is that right? And I was like, yes, sir, that's what they say. And he's like, well, that's just fantastic, Muhammad. And I think I glimpsed him like just looking a bit to his left to the Crown Prince. When he said, that's just fantastic, Muhammad, then Prince Mohammed giggled.
Yeah.
And protocol was, we can only say hello to President Trump. So just the fact that I had that exchange where Prince Mohammed giggled and I'm shaking the hands of Trump and here I am, like in this triangle, it was a moment and a half, let me tell you. He's like, that's amazing. Keep doing what you're doing, Mohammed. Best of luck to you.
When you look back at like all the milestones, تحس إنه واقعك اليوم هو اللي رسمته في مخك من زمان؟ هو نفس الواقع قاعد تعيشه اليوم؟
لا مرة لا. من بداية البودكاست لا, I don't. No. This just started as, I enjoy conversations. Let me just put a few episodes out there and see what this world is about. أبدا ما توقعت إنه بعد 5 سنين كده حيكون الأشخاص اللي حقابلهم, the people I meet, the places I'm going to go. From alhamdulillah, but just the last 6 months, from Osaka and Tokyo for Expo to Moscow for Saudi Airlines' new flights from Riyadh to Como for an EU governmental thing where I met Adel Al-Jubair, to Toulouse, Munich, Hamburg, and then now obviously New York most recently. It's just been like I'm noticing I'm getting on planes for the podcast, the risk that I took in starting this podcast. I'm getting on planes now that I wouldn't be on if it wasn't for the podcast that I started. So you have no idea how often I ahmed Rabbi for allowing me to live a life where I feel this is what I was born to do, and be one that I'm excited to live in, because for the longest time it wasn't a nice sensation, but I feel like you have to taste sour to enjoy sweet, just to feel underutilized. God, this is so not what I was on earth to do. What are you on earth to do? I don't know, but just not this. So just to know that getting these cameras and the mics that look exactly like this, the Shure SMB7s, shout out so Shure, just, putting a few episodes, conversations, made this kind of impression where away from the podcast, alhamdulillah, I'm emceeing, I'm moderating. We're going to LA in 2 weeks with our friends at IWC. LA. في نص Ramadan for 3 nights.
Interesting.
There was no pod, there were no those opportunities. And I just want to continue, Zaina, no matter what, I just want to continue to show our region, and not just Saudi. Like I stopped saying, I want to show Saudi for the light that I want to show the Arab world, the Islamic world, what we're capable of. Some great podcasters in our region. Some great podcasters. Anas in Dubai, Mu'een in Beirut, Faisal from Kuwait, the Tamania guys here, Umar and Abdurrahman. Some just that really, and I'm probably at the bottom of that list in terms of conversational abilities. I'm telling you, we have some impressive people in our region that we don't get the necessary credit for.
That's so true.
Now here you are joining the list of
for the first time
media personnel.
For the first time, you're the one who's being interviewed.
Yeah.
There's no control.
Watch me flip it on you in a bit.
No way. طيب اليوم أنت كأب, how do you show up as a father for your children? Is there something that changed the way you see yourself through your kids?
I always felt that I had father tendencies. If we're going on a trip with friends, I handle the itinerary. I make sure everyone is safe.
You're in control.
Always looking around, just making sure that if there are phones on the table, guys, put your phones in your pockets. But I had this father. I remember, like, one of my female cousins was like, and your nickname should be Daddy Mo. But I didn't feel that I had to be someone else when I entered fatherhood, which is the absolute biggest blessing you can ask for in this life, as you know, through your motherhood experience.
Of course.
It is where I'm at most peace. It's where nothing else matters. It's
where
time stops. Yeah. Presence, being on the couch with my kids or in the playroom with them. And new rule, when I'm with them, phone nowhere to be seen.
The best
Nothing
rule.
breaks their heart more than them wanting your attention. And my twins are very young. They're 3. And here you are looking at this device. Like, I think if a piece of them breaks every time they see that. It's such an honor and a privilege, and I'm told it goes by fast. So if I'm traveling and a trip can be 2 days instead of 3, then it's 2 days.
Yeah.
If it can be 1 day instead of 2, then it's 1. If it can be a day trip and I'm back, a day trip. It goes back to we have less time than we think, and the childhood flies.
A ticking time, or clock that we don't see.
We don't see. You don't see. What a horrific thing not to know the balance of, and the most important thing, which is how much time you have left on earth. And that, that also goes to, is it really worth getting upset at someone who cuts you off on the road? Is it really upset by, flipping out on someone because of an email that they sent that maybe you couldn't pick up on the tone and it sounded like they were angry or shouting or being, is it really, like, just think about who you give your energy to, for better or worse.
As at the moment you're engaged into that so much. زي ما قلت before we were talking, we were saying how when you zoomed out into the world, تشوف نفسك مرة صغير مثلا. من جد, these moments don't matter when you start, getting upset over the smallest things. وانت أصلا, if you zoom out, انت أصلا قد النقطة بين كل الدنيا هذه والسيارات والناس
So I picture the universe with a tiny dot says you're here, worrying about taxes.
Exactly. I saw that too. It's so funny. It really makes you realize, like, is it really worth it?
Handle your business.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. But sitting there and thinking and stressful, like, instead of sitting there being stressed about it, go work out. And I promise you will find a solution for your problem that you wouldn't have seen pre-workout.
أصلاً يقول لك 90 seconds, you get angry for 90 seconds. After that, it's up to you
Correct.
whether you want to respond and stay in this loop
Yeah.
or to break it.
Yeah.
It's all up to you.
I love the new saying that I've come across and I can implement into a lot of things. The person who will beat you is doing this, is working out 4 times a week. The person who will beat you is not doing this. Whether it's if you consume substances that deter you, or if you get angry too much. So in the back of my mind, Mohammed, the person that is going to beat you to this opportunity, or will be a better conversationalist, or the person that will whatever is doing it the correct way. Now that person doesn't have a face, and it's a faceless person who I think I'm telling myself that I'm chasing in a healthy way so that I can be the best version of myself. I love it. 90 seconds or more, then it's a choice.
Yes.
Morning runs, morning walks, reading a book, for example. Global screen time averages around 8 hours. 8 hours, that's a third of our day. Yeah,
we
8,
live,
16, 24.
literally live on our phones.
Imagine an hour a day of reading. Split it, do Quran 10, 15, 20 minutes a day. You'll probably تختم القرآن in a year. And then 30, 40 minutes fiction, non-fiction.
There was also, I watched a lot of podcasts, obviously. But كمان, I liked reading a lot of self-help things. There's a Chinese doctor that was saying, when you brush your teeth, are you really brushing your teeth? Or when you're eating, are you really eating? Or when you're walking, are you really walking? Because we're always like not present.
Yeah.
دائما بنفكر في شيء ثاني. So if we're brushing our teeth, we're thinking of the coffee that we're going to have, what are we going to get, how are we going to get dressed today, what email are we going to send out, and we're never really just slowing down and being present into, who we really are and listening.
True. But that's the name of the game for me, remaining present.
Remaining present. It's so difficult though.
And the notifications on our phones have been made to make us less present.
Yeah.
It is made to steal our attention, because life is about how much attention can you take. And all you really have, oh man, people were happier 30 years ago, no doubt. All we really have is this fleeting moment. And I've said this a few times, the only thing keeping me sane today are these eye-to-eye conversations that I have with someone for an hour or two. Yeah, I'll have a conversation, with people throughout the day, my wife, but I'm not having this with my wife for an hour and a half. We cannot discredit how important human connection is.
يعني أنا مثلا اليوم لو عندي تصوير, I like to put my phone on silent. I will not take any calls until التصوير is done. It's not because of anything, but I just don't want to be distracted. I don't want anyone to play with my energy or frequency at that moment. Because you can respond to someone who has bad news, let's say, or they talk to you and they're sad. وأنت you really want to lock in. You know how it is when you have someone for an interview. You want to really lock in and give them all your energy and be a good listener.
Eliminate external distractions. A lot of athletes, LeBron James, to name one, during the playoffs in the NBA, he'll do what he calls 0 dark 30. So no phone for 30 days. Or is it no social media? One of those two.
I'd love to try that.
And I love that. Imagine Zena going, and it's just crazy to even think. Imagine going, I can't imagine it. One day, no social media.
بس one day. إحنا ساعة ما نقدر.
Now to think, if you want to really dig deeper into this, I've been on Instagram since it started, 2013, 2014. Are you telling me that 12 years have passed and I didn't go a day without going on social media بشكل عام?
Exactly.
It's a daily thing.
Exactly. It's like you check your WhatsApp, you check your Instagram, you check your email. حتى لو ما في شيء. It's just an addiction.
I haven't been that consistent with anything else.
Yeah.
Come to think of it. Like,
you're so consistent.
Do you know what I mean? Like I haven't flossed daily for 12 years. I brushed my teeth for 12 years for sure. But like, do you know what I mean? Like it's the most consistent thing I've ever done, but like it's not good consistency.
Yeah.
A break from screen monitoring, how much time you consume on it, what gets measured gets managed. Look into the stats and the analytics of your phone. How many minutes or hours are you on Instagram per day?
بس مو على كده أنت بتحس أصلا أنا مثلا if I'm online too much I feel it sometimes. I feel like this tightening in my chest.
Yeah. Dopamine crash.
Yeah, I feel like, no, while I'm on Instagram, let's say, or social media, I feel like, okay, Zaina, we spent too much time on social media today. It's time to switch off because you really feel bad.
Put limits.
Definitely.
You can now put limits.
Definitely. So let's shift the energy شوية, lighten things up.
Sure.
So I'm going to say a word or a sentence and I want you to fill in the blank. And whatever comes in your mind.
Okay.
The first thing that comes in your mind.
Oh, this is dangerous.
Don't worry. Just take a deep breath. So when stress shows up, I feel it in my heart.
Yeah. That's because I have a benign condition called ectopic heartbeats, where it flutters.
I remember we had this conversation before.
Yeah. Recently, it's become bad. I think the triggers are caffeine, to be honest, lack of sleep, just general stress of life. But it is my Achilles, my kryptonite. It's the thing that's holding me back. And I think it's the thing, I look at it in a different way. I know you wanted to lighten up the mood. And this is the last time I'm going to bring the mood down. I think it's a way that God is trying to keep me grounded and humble.
It's a signal.
Yeah. And I look at it as like, what can I learn from it? And I learned a lot from it. Not taking health for granted, putting yourself in people's shoes that you don't know what they're going through, appreciating life and time. And so that's where I feel.
When criticism shows up, I feel it in my
bones. You need to remember that to some degree I'm still sensitive, but I come from a world where I was extra sensitive, very hassas. So I would feel it in my core, absolute bones. I do ask and look for constructive criticism, and I'm good taking that. I could be better, but I'm good taking that because it's free audit. As someone once told me, I want to know what I'm not good at. I want to know where we could have been better. I tell my team, please give how could this episode have been better? That's where I feel criticism, in my core bones.
When stillness shows up, I feel it in my...
I'm never still. I need to be more still. I need to meditate. And I know that if I can stay still or if I meditate, I would feel it in my mind. And, I would be a lot more of a calm person. Yeah, I think it'll probably sort out my benign heart issue.
When success shows up, I feel it in my...
I would hate to say head. That's a problem if I do. But when success, I think also heart, because I feel like positively, I feel like the heart or the soul is rewarded for the 5.5 years of consistency, for proving people wrong, especially those that told my mom, if he ends up in jail, don't call us. The soul or heart is where I celebrate success. The inner child.
It's lovely.
The one that never felt judged or criticized or sensitive or, was affected by feedback loops of society. The inner child, knows nothing as far as he's concerned, can't fail. No one's laughing at you. Everyone's your friend. You're good. You're strong. You're amazing. So that inner child celebrates success.
And if your father was watching you throughout all this, what would you want him to realize or say to you that you actually need to hear it today, actually?
I would like to hear him say, I knew you'd make something of your life. Because when he was on his deathbed, I was 21, he was worried. And he actually told my brother that. He's like, make sure he finishes college. Because it was like every school I went to, I was scraping by with C's. So I would like him to know that, you managed to make it work in your way. Professionally and as a family man as well. I think if he had a snapshot of my life today, he'd probably say, my Muhammad? This is what he ended up doing? in a very good way.
What about your kids? If they're watching, إيش تبغاهم يتعرفوا على side of محمد ما يعرفوه؟
Just because the odds were against you and there was no road to take you to, this bit of success that you lived, it doesn't mean you can't carve out your own, right? And just because you didn't for 37 years do something that you can hang your hat on, it doesn't mean year 38 things can't change. Never give up hope. Believe in yourself. And for goodness sake, just do things your way. Don't copy. Be authentic. Escape competition through authenticity.
Well, thank you for being real and being here today. This conversation is much appreciated. And your presence as well.
Thank you, Zainab.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Keep doing this, and we need voices, more voices from Saudi, from the region, and honestly, more female voices. There's a lot of guys doing it, and I'm so happy to hear that you started this, and keep going. Consistency, right?
Consistency over everything.
Name in the game. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me as your first guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.